Hello and welcome to Sudhanshu, who's one of India's premier railway men, who's the creator of Vande Bharat, and who has defied many expectations to do some of the amazing things that he's done. Thank you so much, Mr. Mani, for joining us. And I'd like to start, of course, by asking you about your greatest achievement and something that defied all odds, the creation of Vande Bharat, and something that you did in 18 months, really out of nothing. So please talk a little about that.
Okay. Right after independence, I'll not go beyond that, but the image, the recall of our trains has remained the same. You see the same box type trains, and more AC coaches have come, certainly. The color has changed from Gulf red to blue, some technology as well, but by and large the recall remained same, and that was even before joining railways and later in railways. I had that angst and maybe a dream that someday India should have a modern, speedier, aesthetically superior, technologically advanced train. So it was being talked about since what is called a train set, which will have no locomotives but only coaches, all equipment placed under the board. It was being talked about since early 90s. There were lobbies for, against, all that procrastination, indecision, and so on. But it was never designed and manufactured. In 2016, I got the fortune of being posted as the general manager, the head of Integral Coach Factory in Chennai, which is the largest factory of Indian Railways.
Right.
Yes. And there I was fortunate. I didn't do anything about it. I was fortunate, a great team was bequeathed to me. Staff, engineers, officers who had some chutzpah to do something new, but they were bored of doing more of the same, if I can call it that. And so that was my fortune, and it was now my job to just exploit that fortune and channelize their energy. And rest is history. We thought of designing and manufacturing 180 kilometers per hour train set without locomotives. And we were able to do it in 18 months, which is the shortest period perhaps ever in the world from concept to delivery of a train. But, with a great team, you can do great works, and that's what happened.
Mr. Mani, throughout your career, you've really been a committed railwayman. I was reading that you actually were in IIT and you chose to leave IIT and join and become a railway engineer. Can you talk about this fascination for railways from what seems to be an early age?
Actually, I joined IIT, did not get a good branch, so I went to Roorkee University, which is now an IIT. It was only University of Roorkee that time, the oldest engineering college in the country.
That's right.
Later, I got selected for what the scheme called SCRA, which takes intermediate plus two intermediate for a 4-year course, and then they are absorbed in railways. Their job is assured, and they start getting stipend even from the first year. So that attracted me, and that I was getting an assured job. So I will not assign too much merit into that. I will definitely say that it was not love of railways which drew me there. It was more the convenience and the draw of not to study anymore because you get an assured job.
Right.
So I will not find unnecessary virtue there. But yes, at a very young age, then you inculcate that spirit of what I call the railway spirit, Indian railway spirit. Yeah, right. Well, I'm fortunate to have that.
Right. How would you describe the Indian railway spirit? what characterizes the Indian Railways?
Yeah, okay. So some of the things, first of all, Indian Railways trains, the passenger trains, are not like any other train in the Western world or anywhere. They are a microcosm of India itself, And from the window, you see what you see. You see daily celebration, mourning, hard work, sloth, grind, desolate here, crowded there, rivers, mountains, valleys, whatnot. That's unique to Indian Railways.
Right.
I should think so. So that characterizes it. And then Gandhiji used Indian Railways, for awakening and unity of the country to give that message of liberty for a nation which was sleeping. Although it was started by the Britishers as a tool to manage, administer, govern India. That also is a unique, if I can say that, characteristics of Indian Railways. And one last thing, which we to some extent definitely owe to the British, is every railway man is a railway man for life. And it's a 24-hour job. It doesn't matter what's your duty shift and so on. Railways don't stop. And that camaraderie and that, the spirit of loving what you do is present much more than other jobs. Love what you do. Love your organization. Absolutely. So Indian Railways scores a big yes and thumbs up there.
Absolutely. I think it's one of the most thrilling institutions that we have, and also, an institution that has continued to remain the way it is, more or less, despite so many changes in the country. It's an enormous feat, isn't it?
Yes, but now a caveat. That change that should have come in its management, that feudal governing that's done, has not changed, unfortunately. And it has not kept pace. So I would say a great organization, its inherent competence, its inherent ability is to some extent being wasted. And so we are a very simple example. At say, even up to mid-80s, we were ahead of China. Today, we are so much far behind that you don't even begin to start the comparison. So a great wealth of staff, engineers, devoted railwaymen, which are, self-motivated, most of them, has not been channelized to take the Indian Railways to the rightful place it has. That's a bit of an angst today. Things are happening, but they have to happen much faster.
In fact, let's talk a little about the things that are happening. 2024 will finally be the year, it seems, when you have Delhi to Srinagar, a train that goes directly. Yeah. That is something that it boggles the mind that it hasn't happened so far. But for it to finally happen is a tremendous achievement. It excites me as someone from Kashmir. We've always yearned for a train to come to us, So things like that, or the high-speed train that is planned between Mumbai and Ahmedabad, it will change the way the two cities are connected. I believe in 2.5 hours you can go from Ahmedabad to Mumbai, in another 4 years. A lot of changes, as you mentioned as well in one of the articles that you wrote. Those are about to happen. I think we're on the cusp of some enormous changes. Could you talk a little about that, please?
Yeah, absolutely. You see, so this is a year. These are projects in hand for 2 decades or thereabout, with tardy progress and so on. But this was the year when we finally saw that this is happening. As you said, connection of Delhi to Srinagar by train through so many tunnels with that kind of terrain, the highest rail bridge in the world. Once it starts, it would be a very, very high for Indian Railways. And as things stand, it is going to start in 2024. It's a tremendous achievement. So all those delays are forgotten. DFCs, again, a saga of too many delays and so on.
So many
Again,
delays, so many problems with land acquisition.
yeah.
I mean, it seemed as if they would never happen, right?
You're right. So it was always a question of कि ये इतना हो गया, उतना हो गया, but never about the complete picture. But that's happening this year.
Right.
Well, there may be a little bit of spillover, but by and large, the DFC in complete form, right up to JNPT in Mumbai and Sonnagar in Eastern. Now it's not going up to Dankuni. We'll not talk about it.
Right.
200 trains plus are already running. Much more will start running. So at least in these two sectors, it would be freed for more passenger trains. And why is that important? You see, Vande Bharat is fine. And I mean, some people say it is a train for the elite. Not right. Okay, it is a train for people who can pay higher end fares. And there is a patronage if you deploy them correctly, not politically.
Right.
So there is a space for such people. You earn, they charge more, they'll pay. You earn more. But what are we doing about the common travelers? Are we going to be a Vikasit Desh in Amrit Kal, before the Amrit Kal ends, before 2047?
Right.
So the kind of cattle-like carriage of people in our general class, can you ever imagine that happening in a developed country? So what are we doing about that?
Yeah.
A lip service won't work. So that has to be a focus.
So it's so heartbreaking to see, whenever there's an accident, the way the poor suffer. It's so heartbreaking, isn't it?
So that's poor suffer because these general bogies are at one end.
Yeah, exactly.
Usually, and they are badly crowded.
Yeah.
So where, I mean, we should not talk of these numbers, but where the casualty would be, say, 25, it becomes 100.
Exactly.
So that's a fallout of the way we are carrying common people. It's no good saying that they don't have money, पैसे नहीं है जेब में तो वो इसी तरह जाएंगे. ये तो बड़ा डिफीटिस्ट बात है. आप इतनी सब्सिडी दे रहे हैं रेलवे को. I call it subsidy because you see, it's not like in a shape of subsidy, but railway budget is not independent. So government gives it the resources from the budget, which you don't have to pay interest on for capex. So आप इसके लिए भी कुछ assign करिए. Please run more trains, longer trains, whatever. I'll not go into detail, but I'm not saying it. I am the last one to say that it's not possible. Please carry everyone with dignity. Comfort comes later. Give everyone a place to sit. Long distance, I can understand overcrowdings. People shoving each other in a commuter scenario, half an hour, 1 hour. Long distance, migrant laborers and so on, the way they travel is not the sign of a country which is on the path of development. That has to be addressed first. What is happening is, it's talked about, but it's a long-term solution to absolutely mitigate this problem has to be done. Right. So I hope that happens. So that's very, very important.
And so high-speed railways, of course, those are again, it's the other end of the spectrum.
It's not either or, right?
Yeah. You can have both.
If you have high-speed train between Mumbai and Ahmedabad, you will see that the air traffic between the two cities will be eliminated, which is 6 times more dirtier in terms of greenery. Railway is 6 to 8 times cleaner than road and air. So that's good. And this government somehow started it. This has been talked for 20 years, and we debate whether it's good for India or not good for India. Such projects, 2-3 should be taken up, done, and then evaluate.
Right.
When Mumbai-Pune expressway was built, the country had no expressway, and people said, "नहीं, India में expressway नहीं चल सकता." I mean, senior people in executive positions would say, "नहीं, यहाँ cattle है, आदमी है, यहाँ नहीं चलेगी." What a defeatist attitude! ये गडकरी साहब ने ये expressway बना दिया, अब देखिए hold लग गई. Everyone, a state like UP,
state
has the maximum number of expressways.
Right.
Similarly, this coming back to the same question, higher speed trains are good. The people will travel. You will earn more money. Don't subsidize it. Overcharge them. Use that money to make the travel for common people more comfortable.
Right, right. I think that's. Do you see that happening, sir?
No, unfortunately, okay, stress on Vande Bharat is very good right now, as you see, because of the Prime Minister, nobody else. It's only because of Modi ji, who goes and inaugurates every train. Nobody has an option but to make more trains, which is good. High-speed train has caught speed now. You know, that state government problem earlier. So I would say a couple more sections like Chennai Bangalore, for example,
Right. Yeah.
or maybe Delhi Jaipur. Some sections like this should be chosen and invested in. I absolutely believe make them sections where again Delhi Jaipur air traffic would vanish.
Yeah.
So that should happen. But towards what you asked, whether it's happening to make travel for common man better, no, it's not happening. Perhaps even you will see a lot of reports, number of sleeper coaches are being reduced. There again, I say that आप इतना पैसा रेलवे को दे रहे हो, आप you suffer loss of 10,000, 20,000 crore per year. It's possible. Carry everyone in AC trains.
Yeah.
Have some couple of coaches where people who don't want to travel in AC for some reason, asthma, otherwise, but carry everyone in air conditioning. Air conditioning is no longer a luxury. It's a necessity in a climate like ours, and it's possible. That mindset has to change. Give them that empowerment today. Tomorrow, 20 years from now, they will have money in their pocket to pay for it.
Absolutely. It seems so simple when you set it out like this, sir. But there's so many invisible forces one has to battle, right? Absolutely. You've seen that at ICF.
Yes. So what? No. So what I mean to say, some expert railway man can come and say that I'm talking hooey nonsense. It is not possible. So I'll not debate with them. I'll say this only, that there are two questions, and they look at the dichotomy. You ask anyone, 90% of them would say, is India going to be a developed country before 2047? Everyone says yes. A strong belief, and I also believe that. Well, then in that developed country, can people travel like this? Can you say yes? You can't say yes. So why do you say that it's not possible? Look at it, make it possible.
Right. And it is possible, as you've shown.
Absolutely possible, yes. With government taking some hit. Today, you know, the AC coach, AC3 and AC chair car are the only two coaches which earn money. Even AC second and AC first lose money.
Oh, okay.
So you are subsidizing AC first passengers for what?
Right.
Oh, if we increase the fare, they may not patronize it. Don't let them patronize it. Let them go by air. Right. But why are you patronizing these passengers? That may bring in little bit money, but I'm saying the mindset has to change. There's no use comparing AC first fare with air. People take AC first for comfort, for overnight travel. They don't want to queue up in airports. So charge them more. Why are you subsidizing them?
Right. And so when we come to commuter trains, when we come to metros, we see a profusion of metros now. Almost every city wants one. What's your view on that, sir? Is it something that every city should actually go for? Because most metros have very poor ridership.
Very right. Your question is very good. I don't have a clear answer. So there are two ways to look at it. When Delhi Metro started, the same ridership was poor, this and that. Nobody pictured that 20 years from then, today, the ridership of Delhi Metro is above 50 lakhs per day. 50 lakhs per day in a city of whatever, 2 crores or something, that's phenomenal.
Right.
At the same time, when I see the metro in Lucknow, so it was the third or fourth city to get a metro, and fast. The ridership is abysmal. There's no ridership.
Right.
I mean, 10-20% or something like that. What,
Right.
10,000 crores spent? I don't have the exact number.
Yeah.
Thumb rule number. In 10,000 crore, you could have made Lucknow the best city in the country.
Yeah.
If you looked at roads, transport, sewerage, so many other things. So I think there is a need for a review. What has happened is metros have become a fad for politicians cutting across parties.
Hmm.
And perhaps it's a single big contract, so those contract related whatever benefits
Yeah.
and all also accrue. Uh, so I cannot firmly say that it's bad, but I would say a more focused approach in evaluating a metro must come. Every small city is Gorakhpur is going to get a metro. Yogi ji
Yeah.
uh, where their basic roads, basic transport infrastructure is non-existent, and they would get a metro. There would be no feeder to metros, not being addressed properly.
Right.
Whereas yes, in metros, Mumbai is going to be very successful. Absolutely needed there. Delhi is already phenomenal. Bangalore has a great promise. Chennai has a great promise. Hyderabad has somehow not done that well, but there's a good promise. But this kind of fad has to be done with more caution. It's
Right.
huge money that you put
Right.
there.
So to get back to what we've celebrated this year, Vande Bharat, where are we at currently, sir? How many trains do we have? How many are coming up? And really, if I were to ask you, how has it transformed the way people are traveling? What would you say?
Yeah. So absolutely. So there is no doubt that it's not the cat's whiskers yet. It is not being exploited to the full speed it is designed for because track is not there. But nevertheless, the way people, most of the people, there are 10% who would detract, 90% who are so enamored by this train, perhaps also because they think it's pride of India in some way, because it's made by Indians for Indians. It's just a train, it's not a rocket. I mean, it's not a Chandrayaan. So that's something we never kind of expected or anticipated.
Mhm.
But the way when you see 2-3 Vande Bharats in the same station, now pictures or like that are emerging. And it's only 50 today.
Right.
Today the number is 49 exactly.
Okay.
It's going to be definitely above 100 by the end of 24. So the very landscape of passenger train in India is changing for the better.
Yeah.
And it's a good positive and good feel. There's no
Right.
doubt about it. And as I will repeat, this would not have happened unless Modi ji, for some reason, took great liking for the train. And what he says is, I mean, it's a train, as I keep saying. As the creator also, I wonder, isme kya hai bhai, ek train hi to hai. But he says it's somehow a symbol of aspirational and resurgent India.
Yeah.
So it is definitely transforming the very outlook of how passenger travel in India.
Right. Has he personally ever talked to you about Vande Bharat? What has he said? Because he, as a pracharak, I think, traveled a lot through India by train and saw a lot of India by train.
You asking about Modi ji?
Yes, the Prime Minister.
No, the first train was designed and built in 2018. It was turned out in October 18. I retired shortly after that in December 18. And it could be, after testing and all that, could be formally launched only in February of 2019.
Right.
At that time, I had retired.
Right.
So I have not had any direct interaction with him.
Right.
No. So there has been no occasion to that.
Yeah. But I'm sure he knows of your accomplishments, as does the rest of India. So this has been a great occasion to understand your perspective on Indian Railways. And I think 2024 looks like a very exciting year for the railways. We, of course, hope that safety is addressed. I think nobody wants to see the terrible sights of accidents that one sees on the news, and I think that is something that you're also very concerned about.
Yeah. So two things, and you can edit it. One is, of course, safety. You see, people people have become more conscious. Social media, pictures everywhere, and so obviously when people die in accident, there has to be uproar. I mean,
Yeah.
you cannot say it's not like 10 years back.
Right.
So that's why my saying this somehow appears as a defense, which it's not a defense. It's just putting in perspective. There used to be deaths of 500 to 700 people every year in railway
That's
accidents,
right.
and this number is now less than 50.
Right.
This year, this Balasore alone spoiled everything.
Yeah.
Right? Well, 290 odd people died.
Yeah.
But nevertheless, this great reductions has not happened by magic. It was through some, one action was closure of level crossings. Unmanned level crossings were totally closed. That eliminated 30-40% of accidents and people dying, casualties. Track maintenance has improved. So that said, this year has taken a bad turn. There have been 4-5 bad accidents,
Yeah.
including casualties. One was very big, others was 14 dead, 5 dead, and so on. So there is a big need for focus. And instruments are available indigenously. It's not as if you have to, like Kavach. Kavach is a great, better, more than Vande Bharat. I mean, if given to me, I will give more weightage and coverage to Kavach, which is done by Indians for India. It is a system unique, not there anywhere in the world.
Right.
At 1/4 the cost of a similar system which is prevalent in Europe. So it has to be rolled out real fast. It is going very slow. There was a very, I would say, not enigmatic, I would say very defeatist statement by the chairman railway board that industry has not kept pace and there's no capacity, so rollout is getting slower. I mean, government is a big spender. You have to support those capacities, give that trust, give that confidence. The country will have great capacities. So using such excuses around won't work. Kavach rollout has to be done much faster.
Right.
See, we are 70,000 kilometers, right? And even if you do 2,000 kilometers every year, it will take 35 years. You can't afford that. Yes, so you have to find means to do 5,000 kilometers every year.
Right.
So Mumbai, Delhi, Howrah is going on for, I don't know, 3-4 years at least. And still no sign that it will be completed in 2024. These are the things which require focus. Absolutely.
Who is the creator of Kavach? Which
Kavach
part
was
of the
created
railway?
Kavach was created by a set of engineers on Research Designs and Standards Organization, Lucknow, in association with industry.
Okay.
Actually, industry plays a greater part. They are not shackled by bureaucracy. So, Indian industry has, I would say, progressed in terms of technology much more than Indian Railways. Same was the case with Vande Bharat. We were riding on the shoulders of the industry, indigenous industry, which has done wonders. So this was developed by RDSO in association with industry, and it's been ongoing for a long time. It's more or less totally proven, and now much faster rollout is absolutely the need of the hour.
Right. Wonderful. So I think we can go on talking forever, but I know that you have other things to do as well. But thank you so much, Ms. Mani. It was a real privilege to speak to you. And I wish you all the best.